This is your brother Shataria here at Chicago Branch Great Millstone, prophesizing the return of the Heavenly Father Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai. You all ignorantly call him Jesus, but his true and Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai. Coming at you with another lesson. But as always, before we get started, we're going to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders here at Great Millstone who rule well. Honors to the hopeful elect, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical and true Hebrews of the Bible. Salutation to all the Akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity, the speckled bird, and all those whose lineage goes back to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, healthy Barakatha, and to the Akwaf, and those of you out there listening and learning, Shalom and Barakatha to you as well. Okay, Israel, what I have here is a weekend gone bad, pretty much. I'm going to show you this skit, as you can see. Downtown Chicago shootings and beatings, okay? Downtown Chicago shootings and beatings, okay? And I'm going to let it play without any further ado. But before I do, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for the purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. And without further ado, we're going to let this play, comment on it a bit, and get a couple of precepts. Lord will, it'll be an edifying lesson, and we won't stretch it out. So let's go.
Lighting celebration ended in tragedy. One person was killed, 8 others were shot in 2 separate shootings in the downtown area. There were also multiple fights reported.
And tonight we're hearing from the mother of a 14-year-old boy from the south suburbs who came to the city to enjoy the festivities, but instead he was robbed and brutally beaten.
They had to get him off the ground. He was severely beaten. Both eyes were shut. He was bleeding. Once he did awaken, he didn't understand who he was. He had memory loss. They rushed him to me, and I took him to the hospital.
Now, this video shows her son being viciously attacked by a mob of young people laughing as they punched and kicked him. Deanna, a registered nurse, says her son spent days in the hospital after being beaten unconscious and left on the ground. The 14-year-old was robbed of his keys, phone, and ID, and now fears his attackers could return. He and a friend, they were dropped off by an adult right in downtown to enjoy the holiday festivities. Doctors worry he may have permanent vision loss, and he's only able to drink liquids due to severe jaw pain. The family has already changed their locks for safety. Deanna says her son is a good student who did not deserve this. We met the family at 17th and State as they filed a police report.
I just want justice to be served, because he didn't deserve that. When I tell you he is a good kid and he don't bother nobody, he shouldn't have been beaten that way. It should have been way more security guards down there. He didn't come down there for violence. He came down there for a show. He came down there, to celebrate the city that he live in. And just to be beaten for no reason and robbed, I need answers today.
Now, the family hopes Chicago police can catch who did this. They've also set up a GoFundMe for medical costs as they navigate what's next for the teen.
And while a cash reward is being offered for information leading to convictions and arrests in Friday's shooting, a Chicago alderman says this takeover was preventable.
Leslie Moreno picks up our team coverage on this. Leslie?
Ladies, good evening. Yeah, Alderman Hopkins isn't holding back. He says what happened here Friday night should be a wake-up call. Hopkins says a massive crowd of teens, possibly organized on social media, rushed into the loop not long after the tree lighting ceremony. Just before 10 p.m., shots were fired near State Street. 8 teens were injured. Not long after that, another shooting just a block away. A 14-year-old boy, Armani Floyd, was killed, and an 18-year-old man was seriously injured. Tonight, Hopkins is really pushing the city to take this seriously. He says officers told him they were overwhelmed Friday night and that some were even attacked with mace or stun guns. One officer, he says, ended up hospitalized. CPD has yet to confirm that information, but Hopkins says he's now renewing his push for a snap curfew.
We will be looking at the curfew ordinance that unfortunately the mayor vetoed. Had that ordinance been in place, it would have been implemented. This is a tool that would have been used by the police at that time. They actually did start enforcing the curfew when the law allowed them to Friday night, which was 10 p.m. But by then it was too late. The shootings had already occurred. Had that ordinance been in place, they could have used the curfew enforcement at 8 p.m., which could have potentially reduced the number of kids that were there and quelled the violence.
And in the last 30 minutes, Alderman William Hall just introduced an ordinance that would require major social media platforms to quickly cooperate with the city of Chicago when posts promoting illegal teen gatherings are flagged by authorities. According to that ordinance, platforms would have 6 hours to acknowledge the city's notice, remove, restrict the content, and refusing to take it down could mean a $50,000 fine per violation. In the meantime, Hopkins says he is going to be meeting with Chicago police as well as with city officials to review this weekend's response and to figure out essentially how to prevent this from happening again. In the meantime, again, Crime Stoppers is still offering a $10,000 reward for any information. For now, reporting live in the Loop, Leslie Moreno, Fox 32 Chicago.
Recently, I went on my first cruise, and it was so much fun. It was 7 nights with Virgin Voyage.
And these are young, young niggas, YNs, okay? They wild, okay? They are pretty much have no home training. I can just about guarantee you that I'm being lenient at that. 8 out of every 10 of these young YNs, okay, are from a single parent home, okay? And that's going to be my next lesson I do. I'm a little behind on lessons this week. Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he gets old, he will not depart, all right? So you see, these a teen takeover, all right? Teen takeover, listen at that. So you got the teens running the houses now, you see, because everything starts in the house, okay? It starts at home. But you have a bunch of young people who have been spiritually and morally stripped, okay? They have no way of what's right and wrong. Their morals are messed up. They have no spirituality because none of the men are in the household, and the Lord makes his pact with men, okay? So there's no spirituality. There's no hedge around the household. Hey, Psalms 82:5. All right, we're going to grab that. Let's get that. We'll get both of them first, okay? Proverbs. Let's get Proverbs 22:6. And it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So these are young, these are YNs, young niggas, okay? Running wild, running rampant. They have no home training. They have no discipline, okay? And again, I was being lenient with that, but it might be 10 out of 10. I don't know, but I want to see at least 8 out of 10 of these young people live in single parent households, okay? And again, this is what Esau and Eve have created. A bunch of young, YNs, okay? A bunch of monsters, okay? And this is what we have, Israel, all right? Chicago's, deadly lighting ceremony. And it's a lighting ceremony, okay, that they have this time of the year during this pagan holiday season. It's a lighting festival, and it draws millions of tourists from all walks of life to the downtown Chicago area to see this lighting ceremony, this lighting festival, okay? And this was the outcome, okay? This is what's happening. And keep in mind, things are not going to get any better, Israel. It's only going to get worse and worse. And this is what it produces, okay? When you take the man out of the household, okay, when you morally strip young people, okay, where they have no knowledge of right and wrong, good and bad, okay? And you see they laughing while they beating that young man. You heard that. And this is a bunch of degenerates, all right? That's what they are. A teen boy was killed in a shooting following Chicago's Christmas tree lighting on the night that brought thousands to downtown. Shootings and beatings in Chicago. Shootings and beatings in Chicago hindered the holiday celebrations over the weekend. And Chicagoans are looking for ways to curb the violence, okay? So you take away the reach out facilities, all right? You take away the youth and community centers, and you take all this away, and you leave a nation of people. You leave young people with nothing to do, okay? Nothing to occupy their minds, nothing positive, okay? And this is what you get, teen takeovers, all right? Again, I'm going to do a follow-up lesson, Abaratazah, Lord wills, on how Hebrew children are being raised here in America. And I believe I forget what episode I'm at. I'll put it up, Abaratazah, Lord will, later this afternoon when I do another one of these lessons. But that's what happens. You take away the outreach, facilities, okay? You take away youth centers. You take away community centers. There's nothing for them to do, okay? There's nowhere for them to channel this energy and make it positive. So this is what you get, all right? And again, I just gave you Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he gets old, he will not depart from it, all right? All right, and that's it. There's no men in the households, so there's no discipline in the households. There's no order, all right? And this is what happens when you take the men out of the households, and this is what they've created. When they gave Eve all these perks and benefits to put her man out of the house, okay? That's another lesson in itself. And again, Abaratazah, I'll be getting into that, but this is the result. But let's get a couple of precepts, okay? I just gave you that. And this is, let's get this Psalms real quick. 82, Psalms 82. Psalms 82:5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course, okay? And you see the young people are pretty much running the households now. Teen takeover, okay? You see what it said? And it was thousands of them, hundreds of them, thousands of them downtown. And this is what they've created, okay? Again, you have no reach out facilities. Again, you have no youth centers, no community centers. But them bastards over there at Ashdod, okay, talks about that in Zechariah 9th chapter, verses 6 through 12 to be exact. They make sure their children have everything. That's another lesson in itself. But anyway, all right. Our young people are morally stripped, okay? Let's go here and get ready to close. I said this was going to be a quick lesson. Give me Psalms. Give me Psalms 1. Give me Psalms 1 first. And it says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doeth he meditate day and night. You see, Israel? And again, if it is a man in the households today, how many of them are teaching their children the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai? I bet that percentage is very low, okay? So we've lost our way here in Babylon, a.k.a. America, and this is what's happened to our youth, happened to the young YNs, because they're monsters, okay? So let's go here, and we'll close the lesson with that one. Give me Exodus. Give me Exodus 23 and 2, and it says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to risk judgment, okay? Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a case to decline after many to risk judgment, okay? And again, you've seen judgment going forth. He didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve that. Your son is a monster, lady. He's down there, and ain't no telling what he was doing before they got into it with each other, all right? Again, Proverbs 22 and 6, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he gets old, he will not depart from it. These children are morally stripped and spiritually stripped, okay? They're YNs, okay? They're basically, you've seen the animalistic behavior that was going on, all right? So that's pretty much all I have on that. I'm not going to draw it out, and it is what it is. Lord will, the lesson was edifying through the Spirit. In closing, I like to say Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, and Abba Babo. Until the next time.